The Global Water Summit discussed the importance of sharing ideas and new technology for worldwide water management, and they bring together key leaders in the industry to collaborate and find solutions. After attending the conference, it inspired me to make a documentary.
We all had a desire to convey a very simple message because I felt that it was a big subject, but we were trying to come from a different viewpoint, and mainly because there are many water documentaries out there.
It is something close to my heart. I think it's universally important to everyone. I felt that I knew a little bit kind of going in.
There is this underlying message that there is a forthcoming water concern for the planet, and I thought maybe there was a way to send the same message, but it would be in a simple form where anybody could understand what we were trying to convey. It was more about the community coming together and discussing something from a kind of human, organic approach. The connection between people is very heartfelt in the movie, and you'll see that.
I feel we have a huge responsibility to future generations, that we owe them a better world, and we're leaving them with all these generational problems. I really felt passionate about this project.
I realized I am the average person who is turning on my faucet and the water's just coming out. I started thinking, what happens if it doesn't? Was it possible to make a documentary for the average person from an average person's viewpoint and be able to reach people on the same level as myself? It was important to try to make it happen.
I became really excited when Dianne first told me about this passion project, and I realized that there was going to be a lot of effort that I'd be putting into this, and plenty of other people that were going to be putting into this, because frankly we just didn't have the budget to do it. But because so many people came together, we were able to put this thing together. And I'm actually so grateful that it was one of those unifying factors that we all realized that this is a message that needs to be passed on.
I feel like the concept itself is something most people are aware of, but maybe not something that they feel an immediate sense of urgency to become a part of and get involved in. And so I'm hoping that this documentary will help people to feel a lot closer to the subject material and feel like it's something that will directly affect them and the generation directly after them, and it'll make them take action and become involved in being a part of the solution.
Between Dianne's passion, between all the different people that have been a part of this project, we were able to pull it off. I just grew a deeper appreciation for everybody's sacrifice. I've worked on plenty of projects where people get paid and paid well, but to be able to see the sacrifice and the willingness to work together just inspired me.
If we all as a community raise our level of education on this subject, then we'll immediately become better at conserving water for the long run.
So going into this project, I wanted to provide actual solutions and not just identify a problem. Tangible things that everyday people that we can do on a daily basis. Obviously there are plenty of world leaders that are trying to solve large-scale problems with water conservation and implement things that we as individuals might not be able to, but we can all do our part. Even the simple things from just turning off the water, not letting it run forever, raising awareness of the fact that you can use fog catchers. Now, fog catchers, obviously not everybody's going to be able to do.
There are already areas that are feeling this change and others who have not yet been affected. According to the National Geographic, there are about 14 out of the 20 largest cities in the world experiencing water scarcity or drought.
The thought crossed my mind that it doesn't matter if we filmed this film in Hawaii. We had the same concerns. And one of the most important things is I started thinking about the children. But to say that it's in the future seems so far away for us, that we don't really feel we're experiencing it. And it made me realize that the children will be there. And so they're going to have to adapt. And in order for them to adapt to a new reality, not meaning that, all of a sudden we're going to have drought everywhere in the world, but there will be places. And those places that will be affected will have to do something about it. I think there's a way to come across where we could instill hope when they see this film.
Malamei kawai, which is basically the Hawaiian way to say water conservation or take care of the water, keep it clean. As Native Hawaiians, we believe that a duty and a responsibility to take care of the land and the water, basically all the living space. So everything from the top of the mountain all the way out to several hundred yards into the sea, we believe is part of our living space. To prepare our kids to inherit everything that we've had, we take care of the land, we take care of the water, take care of the ecosystem basically.
I wanted to be able to, in some small way, inspire people to find solutions, come up with new ideas and techniques to the inevitable water crisis that we will face.
So I think water conservation, harvesting, adaptation becomes a mindset. And once it becomes a mindset and becomes part of your own individual thinking, it goes into your consciousness, and from there, as a community, becomes a movement.
Hi, I'm Dianne Wennick. I'm here to share with you what inspired me to make Finite Water. Finite Water began because I had attended the Global Water Summit in 2018 in Paris. And it was an incredible experience. I met a lot of very interesting people and I learned a lot. I wanted to create a film that could reach people on the same level as me, which is somebody who is just the average person. At the time, I was thinking first to maybe make a large film and across many countries with experiences, but because I didn't have the funds for that, the next idea would be to make a trailer and to create the trailer to make the larger film, and also to try to get a grant, which I've never had experience in. Zach Thompson was introduced to me by a friend, and he had originally worked with James Cameron on Avatar in the mainland, and he was his assistant. And he was wonderful because, first of all, Zach was very open-minded and very also accommodating with my budget, which wasn't very much. And so we started making the film together, and it quickly grew because we wanted to cover this topic and that topic. I mean, I had a lot of ideas in my head of how I wanted this to turn out, but along the way we were both becoming very aware of the potential to reach other people. And so we started to include other content, and it was wonderful because the amount of people that came to us through serendipity was incredible. The theme song was donated by Martin Rabet, a music composer. Richard Chamberlain donated his time for the narration. We had very talented photographers who donated their images, as well as scientists who provided their content for technology, and speakers that lived here locally that have experience in the water industry who shared their experiences, and also even an expert in permaculture. So it just continued to be just this beautiful experience of meeting people with like minds who wanted to contribute in the film. I would say the most magical moment was watching the children throughout the film. They participated, they were creative, and they also enjoyed the process of learning something. It was just beautiful to watch. And then also just working with so many great people along the way. I think the biggest challenge for me obviously was money. I didn't have very much of it, and I was trying to make this, blockbuster film. No, not really. I mean, just trying to make a film. And so I started becoming very creative. I would have garage sales and ask everybody to come over and help. And people came, and they probably bought stuff that they didn't need, but they wanted to help. And that is the money that actually is going to the film festivals to try to submit our film.
And we are so extremely, extremely happy at this moment because within 2 weeks we won Best Documentary Feature. We both didn't have any idea it was going to have this much exposure, and I was actually telling everybody I'd be very happy if it just landed on Sesame Street. but we're very, very grateful. We're very grateful. I think the goal of the film is to provide awareness to everybody, 1% at a time. I think on a spiritual level, there was something that I really learned while making this film, and that is that it provided a lot of personal growth. At one point I had to ask myself if I did feel guilty about taking away time from my family and my obligations, and I think that I had to say it was okay not to feel guilty, to take the time to learn the process and to actually concentrate on what I was doing and take it seriously, because I knew that there was a level of passion and commitment that I had never experienced before. But in the long run, after a while, I realized that there was something that was driving me to complete the film, as well as Zach. And it did sacrifice a lot of family time, and I did feel guilty. But I had to say that this was something that I needed to do, and what came out of it was that it made me grow as a person. And I am a completely different person after making this film. But in the long run, I'm much happier, and I've seen that it has changed my family as well. And I'm very grateful to my family for being patient with me in the last couple of months. But I can honestly say it was one of the most beautiful experiences. There may be thoughts in your mind to pursue something, possibly language, which is something that I'm really passionate about as well, is to learn French. But to pursue your dreams is something that is attainable, but you have to really give yourself permission to do it. And in the long run, it'll make you a much happier person. And not only does it make you feel whole as a person, but it also fulfills those missing pieces that you've been searching for